We began homeschooling 8 years ago. And so we've been doing it a long time. And back then we had very small children. And the idea of homeschooling was very intimidating to me. And I was really afraid to do it. I didn't even want to tell people that we were doing it at first. And I was afraid what they would say or what they would think of us. And when they would ask questions about why we had chosen to homeschool, we would say things like, well, we were dissatisfied with this or that about our son's school, or we didn't get in on the lottery for the choice of our school that we wanted, or that we just felt like trying a different kind of curriculum. And while all those things were true, there was definitely more to it than that. And because those concerns were all resolvable concerns and things that other parents deal with and don't remove their children from the school system. And it was hard for me to realize that I didn't need to necessarily justify it by saying things like that, because the real reason that we had chosen to homeschool right from the start was a simple fact that we were directed to do it by the Spirit. As we had been considering how to approach our children's education, we had this very powerful spiritual confirmation that this was something that we needed to do. And I could not deny that, so I knew I needed to do it. But how to do it, I had no idea. And that was very scary to me. So I started studying and reading a lot. But most importantly, I learned how to listen. I knew that the only way I could be successful was to learn how to be taught by my Father in heaven through the Spirit what I needed to do. And so we started doing it, and I loved it right from the start. And gradually over time, over a lot of experiences and years, that anxiety that I felt in the beginning was replaced with confidence. And that was a good feeling. I could learn to recognize that I could sense very easily when we needed to make change, that I could make the right decisions for my children as long as I was listening to the Spirit of the Lord. And sometimes that meant we found some things worked better than others, and sometimes we would try something new. And it did seem like a crooked path now and then. And even now, I sometimes have some old anxieties crop up. But the fruits of homeschooling began to be evident to me, and that's how I knew that we had made the right decision. It was about 4 years after we started homeschooling that we came across the family school. At the time, I was not unhappy with what we were doing, but I was very drawn to the family school. The learning model, first of all, right away was very familiar to me and appealed to me because I had seen models like it before when I had been in graduate school and through my corporate work of management training and things like that I had done. That we used a very similar type of learning model. So that was something that appealed to me. But more than that, it was an experience of especially powerful feelings that I felt were inspiring me and guiding me to give it a try. So we did. And immediately I found out that we loved it because it was so easy to use, easily adapted to the range of needs and abilities of our children, because by then we had added more of our children to our school, and therefore we had some older and some younger, and we needed to be able to have flexibility in the curriculum. But what was great about it is that because of the flexibility of the curriculum, we were able to really consolidate some of the work that we had been doing separately, and we were able to work in a more ideal environment of learning as a family. So, and what was even better than that is that we were able to incorporate the gospel lessons into everyday subjects. And when we first began, I really felt like we were having a family home evening lesson every day during the middle of our school. And it was miraculous to see how easy it was to do that and to incorporate those lessons into every single subject that we studied. And I loved how we had the shared experience of learning the gospel and creating harmony by the Spirit in our home. And to me, that is what equated to celestial education. So even now today, the family school remains a very big part of our homeschool. Our children are growing and their needs are changing, but we're able to adapt our use of the family school to their their changing needs as well. But I have to say that the reason that I love the family school and I love homeschooling in general is because of the fruits that we receive from doing it. We're able to invite the Spirit daily into our home. We share gospel discussions as a group. We're learning together. And what that produces is a peaceful and loving home, children who are thriving, they're self-motivated, they love learning, they're conscientious, they're happy, and most importantly of all is that they're growing in their testimonies daily. They're learning at a very young age to recognize, to learn through the Spirit in every subject and every aspect of their lives. And as far as what we can do as parents to help them in their preparation for their life's missions, I really feel like there's nothing better that we can possibly do for them.